Is building for tomorrow's Boston Marathon. In less than 24 hours, 36,000 runners will line up on the marathon route for the 118th Boston Marathon. Security is at its highest and preparations are still underway for Marathon Monday. Thousands of people are already in Boston ahead of tomorrow's much anticipated race, the first since last year's race, which was overshadowed by the bombings. Meanwhile, marathon runners were blessed at a Boston church that celebrated Easter as it also remembered the victims of last year's bombings near the finish line. Eyewitness News has team coverage of the marathon preparations tonight. We begin with Eyewitness News reporter Jared Pleiner live in Boston with how the city is gearing up for the annual event.
Kelly, good evening. Just a gorgeous, picture-perfect day here in Boston. The streets are already filled with runners and their families from all over the globe, volunteers, you name it. So many smiles, so much enthusiasm here in the city of Boston with less than 24 hours to go until race time. And before finish line security begins to really tighten up on Boylston Street, thousands took the opportunity to move beyond the barricade line, walk under that massive photo bridge, snap some photos themselves at and of the iconic finish line. Richard Chase traveled all the way from Arizona. He said he wouldn't be anywhere else.
This is it. This is it for all runners. All runners. You ask any runner, even before the tragic events of last year, this would be the ultimate runner distance to do, or the race to do.
Plan on doing some carbo loading tonight?
Yeah. I'm thinking whether beer counts.
And coming up on Eyewitness News at 10, we speak to Mayor Marty Walsh, and you will meet a man who has completed dozens upon dozens of marathons, Boston several times. He is running tomorrow at the robust age of 70. Remarkable man. But live for now in the city of Boston with the mobile newsroom tonight, I'm Jared Pleiter, Eyewitness News.
Eyewitness News will have a team of anchors and reporters bringing you live coverage from Boston tomorrow, including the inspiring sights and sounds straight from the scene of the 2014 Boston Marathon. The 118th Boston Marathon is right around the corner. The marathon hits close to home for many Rhode Islanders who were there during last year's bombings at the finish line. Eyewitness News anchor Mike Mondecalvo continues our coverage from Boston and has their stories from the finish line on Boylston Street.
You're about to meet two remarkable women who are trying to rebuild their lives after being seriously hurt in last year's bombings, and a Rhode Island state trooper who saved a woman's life after last year's attack. And all three are from Rhode Island. It was a moment that changed lives, and for Newport native Heather Abbott, not a day since the attacks has been the same.
I have had many moments of devastation since then, but I have never felt hopeless.
More than 260 people, including Abbott, were hurt in the Boston Marathon bombings, which also killed 3 people. It's been a difficult road to recovery for her, but she's not looking back. She's planning to run part of this year's Boston Marathon with her friends and family support every step of the way. It's also been a difficult journey for Sydney Corcoran, who has family in Warwick.
I can't move my last 2 toes, and I have trouble moving the rest of my foot because in my foot I had a hole, and I'm missing bone and tendon.
The bombing severely injured Corcoran's foot, and her mom lost both her legs. But she hasn't let the bombing stop her from living life. She has her driver's license, she's going to college on a full scholarship, and the community has helped raise $800,000 for her fund.
I think I'm just going to feel a little triumph, like I'm accomplishing something.
Rhode Island State Police Trooper Rupert Bastasian will never forget the marathon bombings. He was there when they happened. He carried an injured woman to safety after her leg was hurt. Bastasian plans to run in the marathon along with 10 of his fellow troopers, never forgetting the lesson he learned that day.
You just realize how fragile life is.
The troopers are running to raise money for a nonprofit called Cops for Kids with Cancer, and so far they've raised over $12,000. In Boston, Mike Mondecalvo, Eyewitness News.
Now, if you're planning to head to the Boston Marathon, there are a few things you need to know. Organizers are tightening security this year. Eyewitness News reporter Madeline Wright is in the newsroom with in-depth coverage on some new policies in place to keep people safe.
Hundreds of thousands of people are expected to come to the 118th Boston Marathon. Organizers don't want anything similar to what happened last year, so they're being careful about what they allow people to bring to the race. A simple backpack. That's what authorities say was hiding a pressure cooker bomb that exploded near the finish line of last year's Boston Marathon. This year, organizers are taking no chances with backpacks. The Boston Athletic Association says runners cannot carry a backpack or handbag of any size at the start area, finish area, or the race course. The organization doesn't want spectators bringing them either. Just last week, a bomb scare. A bomb squad detonated a suspicious backpack left near the finish line of this year's marathon. Police then arrested a man for the hoax. The Athletic Association wants you to put your belongings in clear plastic bags to speed up security. Spectators are banned from bringing the following items on shuttle buses: weapons, suitcases, rolling bags, coolers, glass containers, flammable liquids, large blankets, and face-covering masks. Meanwhile, for runners on the race course, it's much of the same. No glass containers, liquid containers larger than 1 liter, no strollers, suitcases, rolling bags, personal hydration system products, weight vests, face-covering costumes, or props. Runners are allowed to carry a fanny pack for food, medicine, cell phones, and other small items, but they're not allowed to bring any item larger than 5 by 15 by 5 inches. In the newsroom, Madeline Wright, Eyewitness News.
Hundreds of people are running tomorrow to support a cause close to their heart, and that includes Tim and Kristen O'Neill from Wakefield. The couple was diagnosed with cancer several years ago. Tim is undergoing treatment in Boston for leukemia. Kristen survived colorectal cancer. They're part of a group of 700 people who will take the Dana-Farber Marathon Challenge to raise money for basic cancer research. This will be their first time running the marathon.
Personally, I just feel so lucky to be able to run with the group of people that weren't able to finish last year.
We're ready and looking forward to the event.
The Dana-Farber Marathon Challenge has raised more than $61 million since it began in 1990.